Hello, my name is AJ Forsyth and I'm with iCracked.com. We are the nation's largest iPhone repair company. We have over 100 walk-in locations. We provide a mail-in service, and we also sell do-it-yourself kits through our website. In this instructional video, we'll walk you through the repair of your iOS device. Good luck repairing. What we have here is an iPhone 4 GSM prefabricated assembly with all the electronics on it, screen, everything ready to go. And this is mainly used for just switching out the logic board and battery and either replacing broken screens, home buttons, or just about anything that can be wrong with these phones. So the first thing we're going to do is power down the iPhone 4 that we're switching the logic board out of. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the logic board and battery out of this phone and put it in here. So first thing, take out the 2 screws. These are 2 bottom screws. They're either Phillips or Pentalobe. Older models are Phillips. Newer models from last November 2010 are Pentalobe. Take those 2 screws, set them aside. As always, to remove the back, you push up on the back plate and it comes up, and then you lift directly off. So now basically all we're doing is we're going to be removing these 5 screws holding the CMF shield, these 2 screws holding the home button wire, and 1 screw on the battery. We're removing the battery and the logic board with all the shields, and we're going to put them in this shell. So first things first, ESD safe screwdriver, and remove the 1 screw on the battery. And now to remove this battery, I always recommend to use a plastic tool, never use a metal tool, and you gently flip up and the battery will become unhooked, as so. And remove the battery. You can either use this pull tab, but if the pull tab does not work or rips off as it normally does, you can use your nylon spudger and you go around the battery gently, prying up until you can start hearing the adhesive coming off. So we got the battery. You can see the assemblies are starting to look very similar. The next thing we are going to do is going to be removing these 2 screws, holding the little EMF shield, and then these 5 screws. And you want to keep track which ones are which. So these 2 screws first. So we have the EMF shield right there, and we're going to pick that up. We're going to unclip this. There's adhesive here, so we want to be very gentle when we're peeling this back. As you can see, it's coming back, and it's removing the adhesive. And there, so that has removed that. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to remove the antenna. Very critical right here. We're going to gently, with our nylon tool, gently pick up the antenna. See how it just came off right there. So after removing this antenna, we're going to go up and remove the 5 screws on the EMF shield on the top of the logic board. It screws 1, 2, 3, 4, and the longest screw is 5. So let's remove those 5 screws. So now that we've removed those 5 screws, use your nylon pick. And on the bottom right here, there's a little clip. Unclip it like that, and the EMF shield will pop right off. We have 3 screws and 1 SIM card tray left until we can pull out the whole logic board. The 3 screws are a Phillips head right here, another Phillips head under this water sensor, this white water sensor right here, and a flat head screw on this upper right there. One of the screws is hidden under this white water sensor. And to get that off, you can use your nylon pick and just try to move it away. As you can see, we got the water sensor. Let's remove these 3 screws holding on the logic board still. Here's one Phillips head, the other Phillips head, and the flat head that's in the upper right of the logic board. So now that we got those 3 screws The last thing holding in the logic board is the SIM card tray, and we recommend using a paper clip, or you can use a thumbtack, but we use paper clips. Just press in and you will see that the SIM card tray pops out, and gently remove the SIM card tray. Looking back at the phone, the only thing that we need to do now is remove these 5 wires, wires 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So we're going to use our fingers to separate those wires like so. And after we've done that, now's the time to gently remove the logic board. We're going to be starting at the base right here and lightly, and I can't stress this enough, lightly pull out the logic board as so and pull it out. And that is your iPhone 4 GSM logic board. And this is your iPhone 4 GSM logic board. What we've done is we've taken the logic board and the battery out of this phone, and we're going to be dropping them into this phone. So now that we've taken them out, we can work on the shell that iCracked has provided. And to do that, we're just going to basically be reversing the processes you just saw. So we're going to be taking the logic board, and very carefully we're going to reset the logic board into this shell. We're going to carefully start at the top right here and make sure that we're gently, very gently putting it in, and slowly at an angle you're going to be able to drop the logic board into the shell. You're going to have to feel the logic board start to fit into place. Sometimes you might need to remove the camera, and that's fine. To remove the camera, you can just pop it off. So right now we're going to be putting the logic board back into place. Make sure at the bottom here that the antenna wire is not being caught when you're dropping the board in. And another thing to note is there's tiny metal teeth. There's a metal teeth right there, and there's another metal tooth up right here that you're going to feel and be able to see the logic board fitting in. So you can see the metal teeth right there. So while you still have a slight pressure on the logic board, you're going to put those 3 screws back on it. 2 Phillips on the bottom, so there's one right here. The second Phillips is on the middle that was covered up by the water sensor, is right here. And the third and final flathead is going right here. We're going to put our camera back on, which you gently place right there and clip it in. It goes on. These 5 wires are very critical. These are your 2 LCD and digitizer wires, and these are your other electronics for the phone, front-facing camera, headphone jack, etc. So you're going to gently, with your hands, clip each one of these wires back in individually, and you should feel a light clip in. Now we're going to reattach these 2 wires, which are the LCD and digitizer wire. You can do it just with your hands. And you'll hear them click in. There's 1 and 2. So now that you've clicked those in, it's time to attach the home button wire and speaker wire. So you're going to feel that around. And then snap that in. And then a very, very critical step is reattaching this antenna wire to the antenna connector right here. Now, if you reattach everything on your phone and you power it on and there's no signal, it's probably because this antenna wire was improperly connected. You're going to be attaching this wire to the logic board right there, and you're going to ever so lightly be placing it over the top with one finger and pressing down. And it's a very delicate procedure, but you have to do it correctly in order if you want your phone to get cellular reception, which I'm guessing you guys do. We've just attached the antenna to the logic board, and you want to make sure it's a firm connection. Also, you want to make sure that these 4 metal teeth are under the midframe, which they are. And that's what grounds the antenna. You're going to put the EMF shields back on here, and you're going to put the EMF shield back on this home button, and then reapply the battery. So let's do that. Now this EMF shield has 5 screws, longest one being the top one. Dropping the EMF shield back over this connection, so you place it there. And the larger screw is on the right for this one. And then finally, we're putting in the battery with the clip. Now this is a very important clip. So we're putting on this clip back over the battery, and this clip is very important because it holds the antenna wire down. So you gently place the clip over there, and then we're going to place the battery using our hands, place the battery in, and we're going to gently clip the battery in. So the battery's clipped in. One final screw that we're using to screw that in. And there you have a iPhone 4 logic board and battery replacement in an iCracked shell. We're putting on the rear glass and put the bottom 2 screws back in. There's your iPhone 4 shell replacement, and power it on, make sure everything's working. Thank you so much for watching this video. As always, you can visit us online at www.icracked.com.